Hey folks, this is going to be an episode of firsts. It's going to be Diane and Trevor's first moose. Diane with a rifle and Trevor with a crossbow. In our wild kitchen, we're going to show you how to cook a moose roast. Oh, I just lost them. We're going to show you how to cook a moose roast in a slow cooker. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Life offers no guarantees, but the one thing that we've learned for sure is that the time we have is indeed precious. The more time we spend with family, with friends, and with nature can make the difference between living a good life and living a great one. Join us on our quest to be participants rather than observers, to learn from our mistakes, to share our successes and our failures as we spend all the time we have chasing our dreams, fueling our passion, and fueling our fire in the great outdoors.
Fuel the Fire TV is brought to you by Closed captioning for Fuel the Fire TV is brought to you by Island Sunrise Cottages.
Hey folks, welcome to Fuel the Fire TV. In this week's episode, we're going to be checking out a couple of first-timers when it comes to moose hunting.
Now, Neil and I are both educators. My mom was a teacher, and Neil's parents were both teachers and principals.
That's right. And as teachers, we're always looking for those aha moments when it comes to our students. When it all comes together, it finally clicks for them, and that light bulb goes off, and the hook is set. The exact same thing happens in the outdoors as well. I'm sure we can all remember when our addiction to the outdoors was solidified. For me, it was on a moose hunt with my dad when I was 10 years old. Now, my mom and dad will always be my heroes. My mom for kicking us outdoors all of the time, and my dad for cultivating that love for it. He's still doing it with his grandchildren, our daughters. We need to cherish those moments as they are some of the most important times of our lives. Our moose hunting crew is a tight-knit bunch of, well, yahoos, but I wouldn't trade any of them in. You never know what kind of shenanigans they're gonna pull, what kind of trouble or obstacle you're gonna have to overcome, or what challenge is gonna be presented for you. All I know is you better be up for it.
Okay, so the task is to get 3 shots in the kill zone.
From 3 different areas.
From 3 different arrows within 30 seconds. A 40-yard shot, a 50-yard shot, and a 30-yard shot. Ready, timer?
Anytime.
Oh no! Torqued it.
He's getting away! How much, bud?
You guys know how much time we spend in the outdoors, especially when it comes to filming our hunting adventures. Now, over the years, there have been a few people that I've spent an extraordinary amount of time with. My dad, first and foremost, who introduced me to hunting and fishing and camping since I was a kid. Next up, one of my best friends and fellow pro staffers, Warren Corbier. We've spent a great deal of time together, and when it comes to hunting, nobody calls in or shoots bigger moose than this guy. Since early childhood, I'd have to say time spent with my brother, my younger brother Derek, in the outdoors ranks right up there. From hunting bullfrogs to bull moose, we've done it all. He's a busy guy with his physio center that he runs here on the island, but he always takes time to come up to moose camp. Let's check out one of our most successful hunts to date.
Okay, it's the first morning of the hunt. We're in the same spot we were last year. Warren and I had a bull come into us. We never did get to see what it was, but this is the same spot. I like this spot. I think we're gonna get a moose here at some point. But this is a real good spot. Derek's just in behind me. There's a nice swamp down there. You can hear the loon calling. I really like this spot. I think it's gonna produce. I'm gonna try and get over here. Oh! Just stay down, I was gonna walk up. Just wait. Nice track. Just stay down. If he turns. I could hear him coming. I was trying to get your attention, Verbal. Just wait. Just wait. Okay. Nice.
Yes! When you were over there, I could hear him, right? I was trying to get you to come over. He's gonna come out this way because the wind was right in our face there.
This segment of Fuel the Fire TV is brought to you by North Meridian Enterprises.
Hey folks, welcome to this week's segment of the Wild Game Kitchen. We're going to be cooking a moose roast in a slow cooker. We've got a crock pot here ready to go, and we need a little bit of flour to put in, maybe a half a cup of flour. We've got some steak spice. We'll make sure that we try and mix this evenly. And we're going to coat that 4-pound moose roast so that when we sear it in olive oil, it actually improves the flavor at the end by locking it all in before we put that into the crock pot. So we've got our little mixture here, and we're gonna coat that moose roast in this mixture. Remember, it's flour and steak spice, and then we're gonna sear that on both ends to lock in that flavor. Oh, I see a spot there where we need a little bit more. We wanna make sure that the olive oil is already hot before you put it in the pan, because if it isn't, it's just gonna soak up all of that oil, and we don't want that to happen. We want that to be ready to sear. Searing it also has another purpose, and that's to actually, it's more of an aesthetic thing, but it'll actually give the roast a real nice color. It won't have that gray look. It'll have that caramelized look. So we'll flip it over on the other end, and then it'll be ready for the crock pot. All right, so we're ready to put this in the crock pot. You can see it's got a great color to it already. We're gonna put this right in the crock pot. Because moose meat is so lean, we wanna make sure that we give it a little bit of fat. So we're gonna add some bacon to that. We're gonna put the bacon right over top. We're just gonna layer it with bacon. It's gonna give it a little bit of flavor. But again, because of that leanness of this wild meat, we wanna make sure that we have a little bit of fat to cook it in. We're also gonna put in a 1/4 cup of water because this meat is already thawed. So we're gonna add that to the pot just to make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, so that's all we need to do. We're headed to work. We're gonna leave that on for about 7 to 8 hours on low. And when we get home, we're gonna have a great moose roast dinner. We've got this delicious looking moose roast ready to go. We're gonna take it out of the crock pot. We're gonna slice this up in about 15 minutes. We're gonna add some of Granny's famous roast potatoes, a nice little salad, and that's what we're gonna be eating on the Wild Game Kitchen. That is one of my all-time favorite ways to cook moose. Absolutely delicious. It sure does take a lot of work though to get that meat to the table, doesn't it?
You're not kidding. Up until recently, I had no idea how much work it actually took. Let's check out my first moose footage.
Hey folks, this is the 9th day of our 10-day moose hunt here in Ontario. The weather's been unseasonably warm, and what we did today is we came down to a spot that's about 50, 60 feet lower than where we parked. It's a meadow. The sun rises behind us. Once that sun breaks the skyline, it heats up everything. So this is getting lots of that late morning cool weather. So hopefully that's gonna give us a shot at a moose that's coming in here a little bit late. Stay tuned, this could be the call that brings him in. So, your first big game animal might very well be a bull moose. What do you have to say about that?
I'm pretty nervous. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to wound it and have to live with knowing something's out there that I injured. But I'm pretty excited. Like more than excited.
We're back in our spot that Derek and I shot a bull last year. And we saw some real good signs since we've been in here. There's been a couple of moose that have crossed through and walked around. We got a good wind. Wind is right in our face. And the temperature's dropping, and hopefully the wind will subside as well. So just wait. Just wait.
We just showed you some footage of a little bull that's been evading us all week. And today Diane and I and Jess, we came into what we call downtown, and it's our last full day of the hunt. We have 2 more hunts left this evening and tomorrow morning. We did say we were going to shoot today regardless, and we've been hearing this little bull walk by us all week in the water. And so today I said, that's it, let's go down to that swamp. And he came right out and walked along the river. I got on him with the camera. He didn't stop. I was telling Diane not to shoot yet because I thought he was going to stop. She was on him, but he was moving, and he was a little bit further than our practice distance. But needless to say, as you saw, we didn't shoot. Everything happens perfectly. As time goes on, you eventually see how that happens in perfection. So that's a little bit of hope for us for this afternoon. Stay tuned.
Stop, stop, stop. Over here. Over here, look.
Where? I don't see. Oh man, he's huge. He's a real good bull.
Let me get on him.
Diane, I mean, he's a real good bull. Diane, you have to get steady. You have to get steady. Okay, just wait now. Just wait. He has to turn broadside. Just wait.
Now. Do I shoot him now?
No, wait. Wait. Wait till he makes a turn. Get ready. As soon as you see the vitals, get ready. Take him.
We saw a real nice bull this afternoon, and Diane had a shot at him. And we looked and looked and looked, and we couldn't find him. Anyway, we went back to the footage. We looked again. We were looking in the wrong spot. And lo and behold, she got a real nice bull, about yay big. We're going to show you him real soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This segment of Fuel the Fire TV is brought to you by Great Spirit Circle Trail.
It sure does take a lot of work, though, to get that meat to the table, doesn't it?
You're not kidding. Up until recently, I had no idea how much work it actually took. Let's check out my first moose footage.
Do I shoot him now?
No, wait. Wait. Wait till he makes a turn. Get ready. As soon as you see the vitals, get ready. Take him.
We were looking in the wrong spot, but you guys get up there and try and turn his head this way. All right, so this is the end of our 11-day endeavor for Fuel the Fire TV. Diane took a 59-inch bull this afternoon, and we're in the process of taking him out. We're going to review the footage and see how much of the 10 minutes we can use. Hopefully we definitely watched them for a long period of time, and we definitely put in long hours to get this big old champion bull on the ground. Got a little bit of work left, but we couldn't be more happy. It was just awesome. All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Folks, if this doesn't get you excited for the upcoming elk season, I don't know what does. We're just on the outskirts of Sudbury. We're heading to do the National Archery in the Schools program certification so we can be hosting our own program. We're on our way down to Toronto to work with Tim Watts, and we just passed this real nice bull elk, all in velvet. Gorgeous, gorgeous animal.
The National Archery in the Schools program is a safe and effective way to teach archery to students in grades 4 through 12.
Good morning. Welcome to International Style of Archery. As you know, archery is a fun and safe sport. The first thing that we're going to do is go over the emergency whistle signal.
Starting out with a string bow, students learn the proper technique before picking up an actual bow. The goal is to teach these steps in sequence so that bad habits don't have time to form.
Pre-draw, draw, anchor, aim, shot, set up, release, fall through, reflect.
Once students are comfortable with their string bow, they move to the universal draw length Genesis bow, and again students go over safety and technique before releasing an arrow. There are 54 active NASP schools in Ontario with over 200 certified instructors. This past spring, the first annual NASP tournament had 15 schools participating and over 250 competing archers. The National Archery in the Schools program in the United States this past spring set a Guinness Book of Records, having over 900 schools and 13,000 archers shooting indoors. For more information about the National Archery in the Schools program, you can contact Tim Watts at the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters.
National Archery in the Schools program is just a fantastic program. And how about Diane's moose?
You know, Diane's first moose, a 60-inch bull, here in Ontario, that bull is maybe 1 in every 7 to 10 years. And you're right, the Archery in the Schools program is just a fantastic way to introduce the sport of archery. And an archery moose is definitely on my bucket list. Speaking of archery moose, you and Trevor got an awesome one with a crossbow.
Yeah, we did. Let's post some footage out of the archives from Hearst up in the Gammy Outfitters.
Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
This segment of Fuel the Fire TV is brought to you by Wikwemekong Tourism.
Hey folks, welcome back to Fuel the Fire TV.
The Archery in the Schools program is just a fantastic way to introduce the sport of archery, and an archery moose is definitely on my bucket list. Speaking of archery moose, you and Trevor got an awesome one with a crossbow.
Yeah, we did. Let's post some footage out of the archives from Hearst up in the Gammy Outfitters. A lake here in front of us. We got an edge that works all the way along that lake, and it goes to the next bay of the lake. So they're probably using that as a travel corridor. Call like every 15 minutes and see what happens. We got our urine here, and all I do with it is I spray that constantly. If the wind's bad for me or not, it doesn't matter because that's going to cover it up. You can't make enough noise because they're a big animal. I mean, when they're smashing that tree, just have right at it. But if you keep it real, you know, by raking the trees, smashing a big limb, it'll all help, you know, make it real for him. Because when he's coming in, he's smashing, he's raking. So if you're doing the same, you're acting competitive to him, so he's gonna come in. He's close, right there. Reload! That is a giant. Okay, alright, Rob, call that big boy. He's a big boy and you see lots. Do you see all the junk in front? He's got lots of stuff. We just got lots of blood right here. Look at that, I'm pretty excited. You know,
big bucks. I shot a lot of turkeys. I shot a mule deer. And I've never shot a moose, but I managed to keep my emotions in check. You know, I just watch him rob in the camera, watch the moose, and we knew it was gonna happen. But now, obviously you can see I'm all worked up, but that's my first moose hunt. First day. That's the second arrow. Robbie, we got a moose. Look at that, drilling right on the button, eh, Rob?
Yeah.
Look at the. I'm so nervous. These animals are so big. I'm so scared to even get near them. Oh. Look at that, Robbie. He's got a sticker. Oh my God. Look at that, Rob. Thank you so much. Oh, take a look at all the stuff on him. Look at that. Oh my God, he stinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're here now 24 hours later after Rob and I shot this beautiful bull. We've got a 12 by 15, 53-inch big bull moose. We shot it here at Hearst. We've shot some partridge. We've seen some beautiful country. Again, this beautiful bull, my first bull, and you probably saw in the videos we explained before, it was a 17-yard shot. Anyways, we're gonna hike him back up here on the hoist.
That moose was an absolute giant when it stepped out. Great job on the camera.
Thanks. It was certainly a hunt to remember. There's two animals that I look forward to every year, which is moose and turkey. The vocalization just gets me going.
I couldn't agree more. You know what? Next week, tune in because Rob and I head down to the Bruce Peninsula to hunt some of those big spring gobblers. Until then, fuel your passion, fuel the fire, and get outdoors. We'll see you next week.